of all, thank you, you guys, for witnessing this film with us. And I would like everyone here who is cast, crew, if you helped with locations, if you helped, Lindy and Chris, just keeping me sane on multiple days, could you please stand up and can we give everybody, the cast and crew of the Parish, in any way connected to the film a hand?
Yes.
So I wanted to ask Liz a question. Was your dance card full with the wine glass? Because I saw that in every shot and it was great.
That probably is definitely a Todd Downing question. I think a lot of where many folks can hide with grief, I think we all have maybe at some point in our life have had some loss. And a lot of times, and Todd and I talked about that, it's in a bottle or a pill or just sleeping. And it's rarely going out and trying to bother everyone else with your problems because you feel so alone. So yes, Liz does like a little vino. And a lot of times with depression, we have doctors who say, well, take this antidepressant, which she did, along with wine. Not saying you should do that, but I think the point that Todd was trying to make is that she's trying to blur her focus so she doesn't have to think about it. But yes, when Ryan Sanders, who's here in the house, where are you, Ryan? Our wonderful teacher there, I guess she just kind of also thought he was hitting on her, so dance card's full. Yeah.
I also wanted to say thank you for bringing in the story of being deployed and some of the things that happened during deployments and such. So yes, thank you. Just for being in the service. So yes, any questions? Anybody questions? I would love to.
You can raise your hand, I'll hear you. You don't have to come all the way down.
Don't be scared.
Don't be shy. Yes.
So for David, what is one thing that you learned about yourself or about this project along the way?
That's a lot. One thing, you have to cast it right. It's really, casting is super important. I got super lucky with the people in this cast, and just watching it again tonight, I got to see really great acting. So cast it well, and things will kind of work out, because in the indie world, you don't have a lot of money to play with, right? So you don't have a lot of time for a lot of takes. So cast it right, let the actors do their job, get out of their way, and you'll be fine.
Yes, thank you to the casting director, too. Anybody else?
Have you gotten a reaction yet from any distributors or anybody who might say, let's take this baby wide?
Yes, actually. We really early on, like before we even started filming, we had people contact us, which is pretty cool. And then when we got this guy, people started contacting us, which was pretty cool. Then we wrapped the film. That was really awesome. And then David is really great. As you guys know, he's kind of a social media guru. So as soon as we started posting and we had a page and we had a Twitter, then I really started getting contacted. And then Tony Tibbetts, our editor. Where are you, Tony? Where is he? Give him a hand. What he did with the film is insane and amazing, and only Tony and Dominic, our amazing cinematographer, Dom, and the actors, we all know, and all the crew. But they know how brutal these nights were, and they know how much we were trying to cram in one day. And so as soon as Tony put together a teaser, then we really started getting interest. So they have all been eagerly awaiting this new sexy, finely polished and delicious edit, thanks to Clatter and Din. And we will be making them a screener and sending it to them Tuesday and decide from there. Yes.
So what was the hardest scene to shoot?
Do you want that question of the director, of Bill? How about Bill or Sanaya? What was the hard?
All of you.
What was the hardest scene to shoot?
You first, director.
The climax scene, the one at the end, was definitely the hardest to shoot. Yeah. How about for you?
I would 100% agree with that. That was a very long night. I was very tired, and it was just overall very intense. But it was very fun too. So.
Is it gonna be that?
You're making a movie, man. Nothing's hard. Okay? You're doing something that most people in the world would give their right body part to be able to do. Nothing is hard. You just do it.
I would say I agree with Bill 100%. And I agree with these guys 100%. Dominic Barbaro in the house, who's my brother. It was brutal. It was brutal, and he had an amazing crew around him. But we did not get enough days in that church. Is really what went down. And we thought, oh, we'll do all the stuff with me and Father Felix and Sanaya, and that is a day, and we did great. And we'll get the whole climax scene, no problem, one day. That was not the case. So we had to add a day, and then we still definitely went over 10 hours. We have minors, so we weren't ever trying to go over 10. And Dom was like, let's just do it. We could do it. And some of his crew were like, I'm out. Like, what? And then they stayed. But it was really Bill. Here's our most experienced actor on the set, and it was a long day, and we were like, Bill, we understand, you can go, we'll get all your coverage and let you go. And he said, no, I'm gonna be here for my scene partners. And he stayed for the entire night, and there's Lucas and Jen and Jonathan waited all the way to the end of the night, and we did our scene, and really it was everybody coming together and just saying, yeah, we wanna make it the best it can be. And is Ian here? I don't think Ian is here, but Ian did our special effects, like all of that, which just brought it to the next level. We had Bill on a skateboard with a leaf blower. I'll let that sink in. So I think even though it was the hardest, it's one of my favorite scenes. Yes, Brian?
Yes. So, David and Angela, if you could now go back in time and visit your past selves right before you started production on your film, and only give your past selves one important piece of advice, what do you tell them?
I don't know if I can answer that.
Well, I tell myself good luck and breathe deep. And for me, as an actor, I'm very happy to be successful and work, but I'm used to kind of getting in and then going away, and then that's it. But you got to kind of see this. You're directing the thing, you got to see it through. And it's been 2 years basically since we've wrapped, and in my opinion, it's been too long. So that was the hardest thing for me, was to just stick with it. So I tell myself, stick with it, man, because you have to see it through until the end. There is no way. We had to redo all of our post-production audio, okay? So I had to stick through it because I would not let this come out. I would not share the work that everybody put into this thing to get the stuff onto the screen. I would not let it come out until it was done as well as it could be. So that just spent more time, and if you don't know, time is money, and a little more money. But for me, it's worth it because my name is on it, our name is on it, we have a lot of integrity. So I just tell myself, hey man, be patient and hold on.
I would tell Angela, hug Darlene Sellers and Micah Knapp right now. The most incredible AD and second AD. Darlene saved my butt many a time. And when Darlene had to go home, then it was Micah, and Micah would be there. You gotta surround yourself with really supportive, collaborative artists. And that's what I had in those two, and that entire crew. And so many Mighty Tripod students that we cast, and the incredible actors that auditioned to be in it. So what I would tell myself is, Angela, trust your gut. And I did, and I was lucky to be surrounded by those folks because of that reason.
shot?
Where did we film?
Sounds like me.
We filmed in Burien, and we filmed at Fircrest up in Shoreline, and a few other places. We filmed in West Seattle at Youngstown Cultural Arts Center.
Yes, Cam.
Yes.
I have a question for Sanaya. As the character that probably more than any other had to kind of have a foot in both the spiritual world, the creepy spiritual world, and the real world, what are some of the ways you kind of prepared yourself for that role?
That's a very interesting question that I haven't thought about because it's been 2 years, and I was very small, and no. I mean, I guess I just kind of took the more like outgoing side of myself and then the more introverted side of myself, and I kind of applied that to like outgoing is real world, introverted spiritual world, because I'm kind of like that in real life, except not with the spiritual world. I don't actually talk to ghosts, so, but you know.
Quick one. Bill, what's the most noteworthy difference between making a movie in the Pacific Northwest versus LA?
The question is, what are the most noteworthy distinction between making a movie in the Northwest and in LA? The food's really good here. It's very pretty, and the rain, the humidity in the atmosphere, I think, adds something to it. Generally you get, it's drier. The atmosphere, it makes a difference what the weather's like around you.
So with this done now, I would like to ask any new projects that you guys have going on, and all of you can answer.
I just wrapped work as an actor on a feature film with Rebel Cat Productions. It's their first feature called All Those Small Things. I play Artie. Oh, and will you mention Mr. B?
I will.
Okay.
Many things that I cannot say, but they are happening. So there's things.
And that she's excited about, but she signed NDA, so she can't say. But she did, can they see Vengeance? Is that out right now?
Yes,
What was
on
that?
YouTube.
Which film?
Friday the 13th Vengeance. Check it out. Look it up. It's on YouTube for free. You don't have to pay any money.
Wow. I'll shout out for our third feature film, Mr. Bleachers, which we have 4 more days, which we'll be filming in December. This is a Mighty Tripod co-pro with Tim Carpenter. I don't think he can make it tonight. But basically, we are aiming for next year, 2020 release.
I split my time between stage, TV, and film. Stage, I'm touring as Ray Bradbury for his family. Television, season 2 of Age of the Living Dead is on Fox. We just finished shooting in LA. It's a good vampire versus human series. The director of my next feature is here, Mark Savage. Would you raise your hand, please? Mark Savage from LA. And we are doing a sequel to a movie called Stress to Kill, which was about a guy whose doctor said, lower your blood pressure. And he said, how? And he said, remove the stress from your life, and the stresses happen to be people. So we did that deadly feature, and now we're shooting the sequel to it in January.
Anybody else? Any more questions? Oh,
I got a
hi.
quick one for Bill.
Sure.
Bill, I think a lot of people in here know who you are. They'll know you are probably got as much work done yourself as all of us put together. Normally you kill people in a movie. In this movie, you saved people. Do you have a preference?
The question is, what's it like to save people instead of kill them?
Yes.
It's the same, because the acting technique's the same. All I do is find my mark, stand in the light, don't blink, and whisper. That's it.
On that note, anybody else?
Yes.
Yes.
I have one for David. What inspired you to do like this? What inspired you to do this particular film?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you for Tika.
Thank you for the question. We are friends with the writer, and the question was the inspiration for this particular story. We have had our hands on this script, so to speak, for, I don't know, 5 years or so, maybe 6.
Going on 6.
And so Angela and I have always been interested in producing it, and the timing was finally right, and I think we wanted to tell a story that had a message, but that also kind of centered around the subject of grief. And for me, what I saw when I first read the script was a story of someone who was not dealing with their pain and not dealing with their grief in a healthy way. And I think there are consequences for that kind of avoidance, and I think this story touches on that very well, and that's why I wanted to do it. How about you?
So this I think, will be a good way to wrap up the night. Again, like I started the night, we wouldn't be able to even do this if it wasn't for Todd Downing. And Todd Downing's a dear friend of mine. He's the writer of the film. Dave and I are voice actors for him for his series Airship Daedalus. And after one of our recording days, he said, Angela, I have this script. I want you to read it. I read it, loved it. And this is, again, probably 5 years ago, I think, 5 to 6 years ago. And I said, oh my God, we should do a private reading. So we did a private reading in his house. We just invited some actors over. And I told him, I said, Todd, I will make this movie for you. And he's like, oh, okay. You know, we say that to each other all the time. Years go by, years go by. I was in a position that I said, okay, I want to make this movie. He said, are you serious? I said, yes. And for those of you, almost everyone in here knows David and I and the experience we went through 3 years ago and our personal loss. So it meant a whole nother world to me to play a mother who is grieving and a woman who is going through loss. And how does she deal with, does she give up? Does she lose her faith? What does she do with her loved ones and her family? She runs away and she hides. As you guys all know, we moved. And we've been across the water for 3 years. So it seemed perfect timing. And Todd was also very willing to do some rewrites, to change some relationships. This script originally came from the loss of Todd's wife. And he was left as a father with 2 children. And damn right, he questioned his faith. And what is this supposed to do? And how does this challenge me? But he lifted his kids up and put them first. Liz definitely has to navigate a little bit more putting her daughter first, but eventually figures that out. And so I really think Todd, David, and I came together on a whole nother level. And again, the crew and actors, everybody came in knowing it was an indie and that I couldn't pay them millions, but it was a labor of love and hopefully not just, ooh, blood, gore, yay, horror, but a supernatural thriller that you guys can think about and talk about, and maybe it even helps a little bit.
All right, everyone, that's it for questions. David will be here this whole weekend, right? At the Seattle Film Summit. Ben.
Right here. He's just gonna sleep right here.
Right in here. Ben's coming.
Oh, Ben's coming.
Ben's coming. Mr. Film Summit himself.
And Andrew.
Hi guys, how are you? Was it a good movie?
Yeah.
How many are going to be here tomorrow for the summit? Nice, nice. So I just wanted to come up here real quick. I'm one of the core team members of the Seattle Film Summit, and I wanted to talk about these two because a few years ago, I was a project manager and I decided, hey, I like the film industry. I want to try it out. And I started acting. I started doing a few things. I met David at an audition that you got, and I didn't, and I always forget the show. What is the show?
Grim.
Grim! I forget it because I lost the role and I forget it. I don't want to know about it. But I met David, and then David was like, we talked a lot, and then we hung out a little bit, and he's like, you gotta meet my wife. And it wasn't like in a weird way, it was more like, I finally figured it out, and it was because I needed to go in front of Angela to get approval to hang out with him, is what it ended up being. But anyway, what I wanted to say is that this is the 6th Seattle Film Summit. I met these guys when we were just first starting this thing. In this industry in Washington State, these are two of the people that I know there's children here, but I fucking admire these human beings. And And the fact that their premiere is opening our summit, it just brings my heart happiness. I'm so proud and honored to be your friends. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Hopefully, we'll get to see you this weekend. But as they say in the business, that's a wrap.